Hey everybody, welcome to That's Dope Podcast, where we talk about things that are dope. I am your baritone bro host, God's Will You.
And I'm your high-voiced host, Justin V.
I wonder if I should keep saying God's Will You. I mean, it sounds good, Justin V, but, God's Will You just sounds odd,
I don't know.
To me it does.
Because it's like UV. It's so dumb.
Okay.
The way I see it is that we've had a Christmas special that I thought was lovely. We've had our birthday special, which I thought was fantastic. Why not continue this special train going with a Valentine's
Special
Day
train. Yay,
special
special.
train? Yeah.
Yay, choo choo. Yeah.
You turn the special train into the struggle bus.
Oh.
Why don't we continue this chain, I suppose,
Yeah.
and continue with a Valentine's Day special?
Okay.
I think a good start would be to kick things off by talking about a good film to watch with that special someone.
Sort of. I guess I'm going to be anti-love today because it sounds like everything I'm going to talk about today is like...
You shouldn't be anti-love. Like,
not anti, but, it's not... It's different. Anyways.
Okay, we'll save that for our third bit, which is going to be talking about relationships. And then our second bit, I suppose, we'll be talking about someone who we think is a fantastic musician, not only to get it onto, but really just to listen to. With Valentine's Day coming up, you obviously need to have something to watch with that special someone. And even if you're alone, you need to have something good to watch when everyone else is, getting dinner and spending time with people who aren't you. Do you have any suggestions in terms of really...
Okay, well, I guess my movie that I'm going to talk about is 500 Days of Summer.
Ooh.
All right. I just saw that for the first time during this last Christmas break. All right.
A little late to the party,
Yeah,
but
very late.
still at the party.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's
That's my style. I come late to things and I turn up.
I'm sorry, fellas.
Okay. But this movie was everything I needed to see because here I was stressing out about a girl, I've been for, a long time. And this one really helped me move on in a sense, So that's why this is like the anti-movie, anti-Valentine's Day, because it's perfect for singles. I mean, of course, it's good. I mean, can you really imagine watching this as a couple?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of couples that I know watch that movie together.
Really?
Because
Okay.
it's a very eye-opening film, I suppose, in the sense that it goes into great detail about the cycle of relationships. It paints the happy honeymoon period, and then it paints the not so happy honeymoon period afterwards.
Is that the honeymoon
so
period?
to say. Well, I don't know what
not so
I don't
happy
know what to call it.
relationship period.
Yeah, the not so happy. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And rebound and all that.
The rebound. Yeah, it paints a lot of different sides about relationships, and the end message isn't like love doesn't exist. It's just that sometimes you get really close to things, and it's not enough.
I think the message is different for me, where it was like the message of the movie to me was, really pay attention to the signs and, don't be so caught up in sort of selfishness where it's like you want to see things as you want to see things in this sort of fantasy realm without really seeing things as they are. And also it's like you have to be happy, I guess, being single too, or like really being by yourself or being with yourself, in order to like really appreciate someone else, like towards the end of the movie, when our protagonist, really learns like, okay, I need to do more with my life rather than just sort of wasting it, doing this sort of job I don't really like. And that's when things started going well for him, and, he started chasing his dreams and, the woman came along. I think that was really what he needed. Anything like that's what I saw in the movie, and that's why I think it's good for for me, honestly, this movie is good for singles. I can see this being good for couples, but I think this is better for single people like me, or actually for all men or a lot of men, where it's you do need to realize, don't be caught up in the fantasy, work on yourself.
Yeah,
this is the romance movie for guys.
Yeah, and I think it's a great film. I think everybody should watch it personally. I just love how it sets up that we kind of romanticize a lot of things, especially in terms of romanticizing love. I just realized what I did there. But we really do. We paint it as for it to follow like some specific structure. It's like, oh, I've met this girl, and I know that she's gonna be the right person for me, and that's not necessarily how it works out. You have to keep in mind a lot of different factors. You have to keep in mind what the other person is feeling too. You can't make it so that just because you wish it hard enough to be her dream as well, that she will take that up, so to say. Everyone has their own views. Everyone has different things that they're looking for, and if you want to have a really good relationship, you have to be very mindful of that. And I also like that film because it kind of helped me get over something that happened with a friend of mine, I guess, in the sense that sometimes when we look back, we view things as being perfect, like all the way through, and then out of nowhere, just chaos. But then when we really go back and we really look back, you can see the cracks that are steadily expanding and the problems that are just implemented there. And it's very important for us to kind of keep those in mind. And once you realize and you recognize those problems, it's a lot easier to move forward.
I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, great film. Great film.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was perfect for me for helping me to get over that person I guess I had been chasing, or still it was on my mind for so long. And hopefully that's the same thing for all you guys, that all of our listeners, maybe you have something that's undealt with. This will help you see, things aren't always as, out of the blue as you might think or whatever. Just like what Justice says right now.
Also, like, the music is really good. I love the music in the movie and the cinematography, and the characters are great, and it's just like a really nice little
well
indie
done
film.
movie.
It's really good movie, really good film. Mine is, I'm gonna take
Notebook.
the love route, I suppose. This is a phenomenal film to watch by yourself or with a couple. When I first saw this, I watched it with a lady friend of mine, and it was just a great experience. For those of you who don't know, we might have touched on this on a previous podcast, but we are huge fans of the works of Hayao Miyazaki. Hayao Miyazaki is this, he's basically the Walt Disney of Japan.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, he just makes incredible, beautiful films with fantastic characters.
But he just retired right now.
Yeah. His last film is coming out, and the English dub of it, the main character is voiced by JGL. So yeah, that's what we're gonna see for sure.
My gosh.
But yeah, a lot of people are familiar with his work, Spirited Away, that made a big hit back in 2001. It got a lot of recognition, and he followed that up with my personal favorite Miyazaki film, Howl's Moving Castle.
I like that movie a lot.
Whenever I think why I recommend this for couples and for single people is mostly because it's not about relationships necessarily. Like it has like a really nice element of romanticism inside of the film itself, and just for me to like detail the plot is very difficult because the plot, to be honest, is kind of all over the place. But basically, it's about this girl named Sophie, and events happen to Sophie that cause her life, which was going in one path, to go a radically different path, and that makes her find this guy named Howl, who is like this magician, and he has a lot of magical powers and stuff. And together, they learn things about themselves and each other that they didn't know that they had before. And the characters come together and essentially make better versions of themselves, which I really hold to heart, because personally with me, that's what I think the purpose of a relationship is. It's kind of so you can learn something about yourself through another person, something that you might not have known before. For Sophie, it was like a sense of adventure that she had lost when she was younger. And for Howl, it was, well, I can't really spoil that because that's too much.
I guess so.
But it's just a phenomenal film. The animation is beautiful. The characters are fantastic, and I loved it. It was just, that night was fantastic for sure.
You said your night was fantastic?
Not like that. I mean,
that's what you said. Sorry. Okay.
It was a good night. It was just good. It was okay. It was just nice. It was just nice. It was I'm reminiscing right now a little bit, but
Oh.
but it was just a really really good night, and it was just like I think of that night whenever I think about that, I guess, flirtationship that I had specifically, because it almost it wasn't serious or anything per se, but it almost had like this mark of like childhood wonder that you sometimes forget about, and I don't know, like it was just nice, and it was very pleasant.
I can see that.
Yeah, doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah,
but-
no. Like, for me, it makes sense. Howl's Moving Castle, like, I never really saw it in like sort of romantic way. Maybe I need to get myself a lady friend and watch it with her, or I just need to watch it. I just need to watch it sometime soon again. But it was, I haven't seen it like in so long. First time I saw it was when I was in 7th grade. Actually, I saw it when it came into theaters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was one of the first like anime movies that I was like, wow, this is anime. Okay, I think I like this stuff. So it holds like special memory for me. Although I don't really remember like what happened as much. I just remember a few weird, different things. I remember fire for some reason.
Oh,
I remember
Calcifer.
like, yeah, I remember.
Great.
Chick going old.
Oh,
Yeah, so I just remember like bits and pieces, but I got to see all that later on. But no, it's legit, man. I wasn't expecting that movie.
yeah.
For you to see that movie.
Yeah, and I wasn't really sure what to expect either. But it was just a really magical journey, I guess, and it was nice having damn it. but it was nice, and I think that maybe my feelings of the film may have been affected by the fact that I was watching it with someone.
Mm-hmm.
That at the time I really care for, and I still do care for this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're still friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a different level, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I just look at that film and I associate it with some very fond memories,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not really like oh, if I watched it now I'd be like, oh, this movie's garbage, because like, my God, like some of like the little details of it, like the animation and how well written the characters and the story was, like all of that was just so good. And I feel like the fact that I had someone with me just enhanced that to like another degree.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with me and How to Train Your Dragon.
You watched How to Train Your Dragon with the lady friend?
Yeah, I'll say that story one day. Yeah,
You'll save it for maybe part 3.
yeah.
So yeah, those are 2 good movies that you should watch, because let's be real, like most of the rom-coms out there right now, they're garbage. Garbage, so bad. You're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. Like seriously, sit back and watch like a really good movie with someone, like
a lot
these
of
are
good classics.
Yeah, like these are 2 fantastic films, you know what I mean? Aside from that, I can think of like Casablanca being a pretty good relationship kind of film.
I guess.
It's a little bit weird, but I really liked 50-50, believe it or not, as a relationship film, which is strange, I know, but just like the relationship element in there was very
JGL.
It's the JGL effect, right?
Yeah.
If it's not Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Looper, great relationship.
I thought so. That's something I would like. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you see how these prostitutes do him? Yeah.
But I digress. Basically, we don't want you guys to be stuck like wasting your money and your time on stupid, crappy movies. Whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, like if you're gonna watch a film, especially if you're gonna watch it with someone, watch something good. And so that's why we've given you 2 great films to watch, and we really hope you take them to heart.
Yep, that's our mantra, I guess. Okay.
We're gonna take a small break, and when we come back, we're gonna discuss a fantastic musician to listen to and also to get not to.
Hey, welcome back. This is That's a Podcast, and we're talking about love and stuff like that. Stuff that we obviously are experts about, because we've gone through it so much. Just
what's this we stuff, man? I don't know. I feel like you're the master.
I am the anti-master. Or I could tell you everything, what not to do, I guess.
I kind of like that dynamic though. It's like I'm not gonna pretend that I'm the love guru, because that's a terrible film for stars, and I'm not Mike Myers.
But you're Indian. You're not?
Yeah. What? You compare me to Mike Myers?
No.
I'm not sure if I should be insulted.
Okay,
or
I'm
happy.
sorry. Yeah, that was bad. I took that joke too far.
Okay, am I 2000s Mike Myers or late 2000s Mike Myers? Because there's a big difference.
like earlier, like back with
Austin
Austin
Powers.
Powers.
Groovy. But
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't Mike Myers also in Inglourious Bastards?
I don't know.
If he was, I'd like to be that Mike Myers. He has
Okay.
like one scene. He has like a dope drink. And he's
Okay, I was like, I don't remember. But anyways,
I digress.
I was like, that's what we do. But
So the way I see like this next section is, like I have roommates, right?
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure that a good demographic of our listeners, considering that they're in college, probably also have roommates. And so, if things are happening, you got to be mindful of other people. You know what I mean? Like you can't,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like you can't have things too quiet for starts. Because
What would be happening?
I'm not gonna go into explicit detail on.
I don't know though. I never.
Okay, sometimes you play video games really loudly, right?
Okay,
and people start screaming whenever you play video games.
Yeah,
right?
that happens.
Right? You know what I mean? Baseball, right?
Baseball.
Yeah, everybody starts screaming whenever you get to like third base, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I like it when they do the goal over the.
We totally know what we're talking about.
Exactly. Anyways.
But I digress. I personally, I'm one of those people who finds that mood music is very important.
Important for what?
Damn it! I'm not gonna go into explicit.
Okay.
My parents listen to this. Okay?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hey, they do? They do?
Sometimes.
Wow.
My mom listens to this. I'm not gonna go into explicit.
Okay. Sorry. Hey, Miss Varghese.
But for me personally, I remember I was with my first girlfriend, and we were having moments, and she's just like, I really want to listen to this song. And she just throws it on. And it was just like, I don't even remember what it is. I haven't really talked to her in ages. So if for some reason you stumble upon this podcast, what was that song that we were listening to way back then? Because it was really good. It was like this instrumental piece. And I think from then on, I've kind of always enjoyed having music whenever stuff happens. And I think it's good for two reasons. One, it enhances like the mood and everything. Like there's already a rhythm to in the background for things to happen to. And two, it's very nice, I guess, if you have roommates and stuff. They don't need to be hearing whatever business you got going on, all right? Instead, you should be giving them some nice music that they can appreciate so they don't have to stand hearing the other stuff, so to say. So, without further ado, I'd like to discuss a musician who I feel is great to listen to if you're on the other side of the wall. And great to listen to if you're with someone.
You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
It's business.
It is business time.
Yeah, we're talking about flight of Concords.
We may have touched on this person a couple of times. But this person is a phenomenal singer. Fantastic voice. But a fantastic voice for me is not enough. I mean, it's enough whenever you're with someone, but when you're on the other side of the wall, it's not enough. This person for me is very unique because he has one of the most unique voices in the game, but he also has some of the most creative, heartfelt, and inspired lyrics that I've heard in my life.
A tornado. Margin boo.
I am, of course, talking about none other than the great Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is this R&B singer, I guess, is one way of saying it. Mm-hmm. He's pretty much, he's just a very soulful dude. Mm-hmm. And he came out to the scene pretty early with this mixtape called Nostalgia Ultra. Mm-hmm. And it's free. We got a link for it in the description. It's fantastic. I love it so much. You guys definitely need to listen to it. And he was making waves there. But I'd say one of the biggest things that really helped Frank Ocean become who he is now was his appearance on Watch the Throne, as you touched on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was really unknown, and then this really... I remember people were talking heavily about this.
I remember because I listened to Watch the Throne, like you said. I listened to it and I was like, when did Kanye get a voice like this?
That's what I was wondering too. I was like, I didn't know Kanye could sing.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, this is not Kanye. This is like, this guy's voice is really, really good.
Exactly.
And so after Watch the Throne in 2012, he releases his next album. and it's called Channel Orange, and it's just released to so much acclaim, and in my opinion, like, it rightfully deserves so much praise. Both of his albums carry like a similar tone in the sense that they're like, the first one, Nostalgia Ultra, is more so nostalgic, I suppose. And it reminisces on
a lot more reflective. I would say.
It's reflective. Yeah, there you go, reflective. Both albums are definitely reflective in a sense, but Channel Orange came out and it made a lot of top 10 lists. A lot of top 10 lists. Definitely on mine for sure in terms of the best album of that year. It was definitely among them. And I'm actually I feel bad because I didn't learn more about Frank Ocean until after our original podcast. I would have touched base on him and given him a shout out back then. But I didn't actually, get into Frank Ocean. Really listened to him until later on in the year.
Exactly.
He definitely had some radio hits like thinking about you, which is a good song. But the rest of his stuff is like so much better. The depth, like I said, the thing about Frank Ocean that makes him so unique to me is twofold. One, his voice, really soulful. But the second thing is something that I feel that a lot of people who try to be, within that genre kind of fail to have, which is the lyrics. When we
you see the lyrics, like R. Kelly's lyrics don't just like, I mean, he just titled like this last album Black Panties, right?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I just saw a picture of it. I'm just like, wow, this is gonna be literary gold.
Yeah, but remember when we were talking about Justin Timberlake's album, we really loved the production on the album,
Just the lyrics
but the lyrics, were okay. Frank Ocean has good production, but his lyrics just hit home so well. Like, here's an excerpt from, there's one part in this song Novocaine from his mixtape, which I think is so awesome. Like, he says, flip on the tripod, little red light on, feeling like Stanley Kubrick. This is some visionary shit. I've been trying to find pleasure with my eyes wide shut, but it keeps on moving. Now, why that is crazy is so ridiculous. First, he has like this his idea of his almost descent into some sort of debauchery. With now filming some of the acts that he's been doing. And he compares himself to Stanley Kubrick, who is one of the most visionary directors. Definitely one of the most impactful people in the history of cinema. Like, his cinematography is phenomenal. So it's like a really interesting metaphor there. But then he carries that over to Eyes Wide Shut, which is, if I remember right, it was Stanley Kubrick's last film, or one of his last films. And some of the motifs that are discussed in the song are carried through Eyes Wide Shut. But he takes it back even further with the original line, little red light on, because that's an allusion to one of Kubrick's most well-known films, 2001: A Space Odyssey, which has this computer named Hal, which is always watching with a little red light. Like, that's the only thing. So it's like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, you should know, like, I'm a pretty big nerd, especially when it comes to film and stuff. Like, I'm about that life. So, like, I listen to this stuff and I'm just like, what? Like it's good because, like, if you're not paying attention to the lyrics too much,
sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's just nice. Like I'm saying, like, if it's just, if you're with someone and you're just getting it on and you're not paying too much attention to the lyrics, it's fine, right? But then if you're on the other side of the wall and you're listening to this, it's like, wow, this is really deep, Like, in Channel Orange, he has this song called Pink Matter. It's probably my favorite song by him. And it's crazy because it talks about, like, women, existentialism, a lost childhood, and he ties it all together with a Dragon Ball Z reference. And I'm just like, how do you do this? How do you do this? But that's why Frank Ocean resonates so much for me, is that he somehow knows how to invoke all the feelings that I am currently feeling or I may have felt, and he just brings them all out of me all at once. And he just does so in such a masterful way. And I think the fact that he came out is such a monumental moment, and especially because he's so involved in hip hop culture, you know. And hip hop, like we said in our first episode when we talked about Macklemore, hip hop overall is a very, very, very homophobic industry, incredibly homophobic. And Frank Ocean coming out as bi was just such a monumental moment because because he was so well respected in such a short time, and he still is respected. You know, people have so much respect to the point where I feel like him coming out shifted a lot of really backwards thinking that has been within the industry for so long. And I'm just really happy that such a young artist is making such waves, and it doesn't surprise me at all that he is.
He put out Oceans. Yeah, I get it.
He put
waves.
out Oceans.
He said he's making waves. Frank Ocean.
I'm making accidental puns. Making accidental puns.
I mean, like, I'm really glad you said that because honestly, I never really paid attention to the lyrics that much. But I have liked what he said. Like, I had listened to Pink Matter. I had what's the one where he said "Leader Meter on" Little Black Boy, Religion, Bad Religion. There we go.
Bad Religion.
I like that song.
Oh yeah, that's a really interesting song where Taxi Driver is essentially like him confronting his psyche, which is super interesting.
Pretty hardcore, yeah. It sounds really nice if you're not paying attention. So you know.
Like we said, like the production is good. You know what I mean? So it's like you can definitely get it on to Frank Ocean. You know, shout outs to Childish Gambino.
Okay. I was like, what?
You know, but if you're on the other side of the wall, like, and you're actually really paying attention to the lyrics, it is such moving music to listen to, and so that's why I say that it's good for both.
I get that.
Both sets of people.
Pretty legit. Okay. Well, for me, you know, because I haven't ever been in situation, you know, before, like on the side of the wall or the other side of the wall.
You've been in the wall though, which is weird. You're not on the other side of the wall by yourself necessarily, but you're also not with someone. Like you've had those situations.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the nicest way I can phrase hookups.
I get. Yeah, right. I haven't he's saying the way he says it, like it sounds like I've been getting it. No, you know, like I've had a few things go on. Yeah, you know, but no, you know, unfortunately nothing really. But I'm not like a total dork, and I guess we'll like touch on these things in the next bit.
Yeah.
Fortunately, but although for the longest time I have been a total dork, and I would say like most of this last year and you know the entirety of this current year I have been dork mode, you know, just monk mode right now. so anyways, I have some songs that are great for people who think they know how to get into it like me. Okay, so
for the unexperienced.
For the unexperienced. So,
how would you hit them with?
Okay,
you gotta go back at your place.
Okay, yeah. So first, we're going back to my place. All right. So obviously, we're singing the One Piece theme song because you know that's how I get them. I hit them with with that we are on the cruise, you know, and that just melts the panties off. You know, That's what they need, all right?
Is it bad that I can already see you like it's like let me set the mood real fast? You're like cuddling next to a fire, then all of a sudden the One Piece theme goes on.
Like damn it,
you know what time it is.
You know what time it is. And then
like, oh, you're such a masterful composer.
Yeah, you know.
I know.
Yeah, I know. And then I guess what I played finally. I played One More Time and just let her know.
We should do this again sometime.
Yeah, we should do this again sometime.
But not right now because I have to go to sleep.
Exactly. And then
it was the longest 30 seconds of my life.
30 seconds, no, 3 minutes. I'm generous, you know.
All right, yeah,
like
you're
I intend to, just keep it going forever and ever, you know.
You were faking.
Yeah.
The first 30 seconds you faked it.
Exactly.
You faked it.
And then exactly, right? Exactly. And then I think I had a song for after, dang it, what's the song after? Shoot, I totally forgot what song I was gonna give after. So it's like someone with a gift or something like that, you know. So that way, Burn, yeah, I'll play Burn. So that way she knows, or that's how I feel because she didn't talk to me after this, you know. And we both might be feeling the burn somehow. Now you're playing something completely different. Yeah.
I think we should take a small break. Yeah. And then when we come back, we're going to discuss exactly why your plan is going to work out, along with our other relationship dilemmas.
By the way, this is work of fiction. I know how to do it. All right, I've seen movies and and I'm not too much of a dork. I mean, I'm a dork. You know, this is a work of fiction. I know. I don't have any STDs.
You dug yourself so deep into this story. You're just like, disclaimer: God's does not have. Also, he will not try to pick you up with the One Piece theme song unless you're into that shit. In which case, please contact immediately. I think it's a good place to take a break.
Yes.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna have a really great discussion about relationships and stuff.
All right.
Hello and welcome back to That's Dope, the podcast where we talk about stuff that's dope in audio form. Audio form.
I don't know why I did that.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, we have a wonderful conversation for you guys. Yeah, we're doing things a little differently. I guess where we are having like a little bit of bro talk. You know, like what does it mean to have a relationship? What does it mean? And I guess like any other like deep points with it. You know, because me and him were like last week when we were doing our last show. Or was it last week? It was 2 weeks ago, I guess.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We were having our last show. We were talking about what does it mean to be in a deep relationship? What does it mean to be in a casual relationship? Mm-hmm. What do we want to get out of relationships? You know, what does it mean to, I guess, like even talk to girls or whatever? What does it mean to be happy? You know,
what's the end game?
Exactly. You know, so I guess me and Justin will give our I guess like our little backgrounds into this, and then we'll go into all this. So, I guess with me is like no, you go ahead I didn't.
Why don't you kick things off?
Okay, cool. Sorry, I just feel like I start things too often. I'm just like, no, I want to give him a chance to be on top. Sorry, I'm sorry.
God was like, why don't girls?
So for me, like just recently, like I would say about 3 years ago, that's when I started thinking I can be cool. Yeah, or 4 years ago, when I got into college, you know. And before, I'd never really talked to girls. In fact, I would, you know, if I did ever talk to girls, it would self-destruct horribly. Because, you know, like someone would say something stupid or whatever, you know. But anyways, I got to college and it's like, okay, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to try to talk to more girls. And I talked to more girls, but, you know, nothing really ever happens that much until, I guess like end of my freshman year where it's like, wow, girls are amazing, you know. I'm gonna try to. I've always thought girls were amazing. I've always been interested in girls ever since like kindergarten, you know, but it just never worked out for me. Yeah. But
you've liked girls since before pre-K.
Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously. I remember there was like once like this like first grader when I was like 4 that I liked, and I
when you were 4,
yeah,
you like older girls then.
Yeah, I still like older girls. so yes, but she was kicking, and then I remember like kindergarten, I confessed to a girl, I was like, I like Susan, and she was like, ew. I was like, okay.
I think we know. Like if I was 4, I'd be like, yes, okay. Well,
yeah,
so
right.
Here's where you fucked up.
What's your translation? 3rd grade, there's this one girl. I think her name was Elise or something like that. But like I was smitten, but she didn't care jack diddly squat about me. She was like a transfer girl. She I don't know. She was cute. I don't know. But she like really smart. I like that. But anyways, I've always been like, now like you guys have been like hearing me like sort of say like, oh yeah, there's this girl that I liked for a long time, and yeah, there was this girl I liked for like honestly like 2.5 years now, where unfortunately like I have self-destructive relationships, but I've learned a lot from this whole sort of ordeal of sorts in a sense, you know. And like one day I'll have to tell like this whole entire story.
We'll save it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, like that's my background with girls and whatever. Like I like girls a lot. I'm trying to talk to girls more, and I guess I'm seeing like what is it I want. So that's me.
Yeah. I guess my background is kind of weird as well. Definitely not a traditional thing. I guess my technical first girlfriend was either 6th or 7th grade. I can't remember. It lasted like a week.
Dang.
You know, I think we held hands once. It was crazy. But there's been weird stuff, I guess, that's happened before. I remember, like, when I was in 1st grade, like, there was this girl in my class, and she was like, hey, come over here, I have something to show you. And so I came outside, and she kissed me. I was like,
Dang.
oh.
So it was that time, huh?
Yeah. That was my first kiss, was way back then, I guess. And I remember I was in a play in the 3rd grade, and there was this girl who was older than me. She was like in the 6th grade or something, right?
Look at you.
Oh no,
Cougars.
I remember, like, she was just like really kind to me. Like, remember, like, the whole time, like, whenever because we were in the play together, you know, and she was like the main lead. I forgot exactly what she was, but she's the main lead. I remember I had like one scene where it was like just me, basically. But other than that, I basically died, like, at the conclusion of that scene. That's not the point. Like, she was just, like, really kind to me. I remember, like, it was really cold one day, and she was like, oh, we can't have and then I can't have a fellow play member being cold. And then she, like, busts out, like, this hot pack, and she, like the kind that you rip open and then you put it between your hands. Yeah, like the little one. She busted that out for me. I was like, whoa, this is great. But I guess it went downhill from there. Like I said, in middle school, I had like that one relationship, I guess. Like, I had a girlfriend, but I wouldn't call that a relationship, you know, because nothing really happened. It was just hand holding. I remember this one kid. It was like in 6th grade. He was like, he had like it was like when everybody first started dating or whatever. He's like, yeah, man, I really like her, but I don't know how to hold her hand. And and so, like, what he ended up doing was like, he was like, hey, Christy, high five. And he just didn't let go.
I should do that. I'm gonna do that.
And so I don't remember how our hand holding was. I think like she initiated or whatever. But it's always kind of been something that I had to keep taboo from my parents. Mm-hmm. You know, I've definitely liked girls for a while. There was like one girl that I liked throughout middle school and a little bit of high school. Didn't really pan out. Stories there, I guess, but I don't want to discuss them now. Mm-hmm. And something that like a lot of people that don't really know me and a lot of people that do know me also kind of don't know was that I went, like, when college hit, like, it was bad. Like, my freshman year was really, really bad, and I didn't have any self-esteem at all. I went through. I'm not gonna go into the exact details because
I guess it's another discussion.
It's a really, really long story. But I went to bed every day hating myself, and I woke up hating myself a little bit more. And so it wasn't a good cycle for me. And I remember having crushes, but nothing ever working out. And in hindsight, honestly, it's for the better. Like, oh my God, in hindsight, it's for the better. But I just remember things just not panning out, and especially not during freshman year, and not during most of my sophomore year either. But after my freshman year, I made some changes in my life, and the changes resulted in a much more positive outlook. And then slowly, I rebuilt some relationships that I had destroyed. For example, with my old roommates, I rebuilt those relationships, so I was on good terms with them. I started becoming a little bit more comfortable in my own skin, and people noticed that, and so other people started thinking that I was like a pretty cool dude to invite to their parties and stuff. And so events happened, I guess, there, but those are different stories. All of this, I guess, the tipping point for this for me was when I did that rap with Donald Glover, because from there it was like me being from relative anonymity to everybody being like, "Whoa, dude, this thing, that's awesome! This is great, dude! Wow, I can't believe you did this! Oh my God, you're so chill!" Like, it was just awesome. Like, it felt really good. It was, I think, like, that was one of the early moments where I think between my sophomore year, I learned not to hate myself. But I think that moment was when I finally started to really like myself. You know what I mean? And I remember a short while after that event happened, I had what I'd consider like my first real relationship. That popped off. It wasn't a very long relationship, but I consider things to be pretty serious because we talked about a lot of stuff, and it was especially like on a physical and mental level. It was like I hadn't done anything, and then it was like, oh, wow. In 12 hours, I did so much more than
your whole life.
But I digress. Like that was like my first relationship. My first relationship for me personally, it reflects what I'd like from a lot of my relationships when they start off, because it very much was the honeymoon period. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of like physical chemistry and all that jazz, so to say. And so it was a good representation of my like a honeymoon period, you know. But basically, when summer ended, that ended too, and I was okay with it, honestly. Like it was a good mutual breakup, no hard feelings. I learned a lot about myself that time. I don't know if she learned stuff about herself that time or not, but it was good. I look back on that relationship and I have no qualms. I think fondly of those times. I really do. And I bear no ill will towards any of my exes, but I'm getting to that. Nothing really happens for a while after that, and then I'd say my second most significant relationship happened, and even calling it a relationship, I suppose, is a stretch. I'd consider it more like a flirtationship, I guess. You know, in contrast to the very physical, more traditional nature of my first relationship, which was like, you know, let's do stuff and you're my boyfriend and I'm your girlfriend, you know, like there was none of that, you know, like things were relatively innocent, I suppose, you know, and it was just really nice, you know, like it wasn't nearly as physical as the one before, and it was just literally like she'd come over and we'd cuddle and watch Miyazaki movies for summer. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was so simple. And I look back at that and I think of that as my relationships like way down in the future. You know, like when you know how it's like when you think about like older couples, like they don't really like necessarily get it on all the time, but there's like older couples like my mom and dad were still like affectionate, you know, and you know, like the whole hands and all that kind of jazz. Like that's what I see out of that second relationship. So I suppose like those are the only two real big relationships I suppose that I've had. Okay. Like I said, there have been like other encounters and things, but for me, like personally, and I guess this deals with some of the relationship stuff that we're getting into, like hookups and stuff don't really mean anything to me. Like what makes relationships great, and I think what the purpose of relationships is, at least for me, is so you can learn things about yourself that you can't learn on your own. When you're by yourself, when you're single, I consider that as time when you're dating yourself and you're really exploring as much as you can by yourself about yourself. What are the things that you're good at? What do you like doing? What do you not like doing? What are you looking for, etc. But whenever you're with someone, it's very different because you have these ideas in your head and then someone can come along and then challenge them. And I find that to be really interesting. I like the fact that when you're with someone, it's like you bring two different backgrounds and you somehow see, okay, what can we do to make this work? What doesn't make this work? You know, and it's like that's why I don't have any ill will towards any of my previous relationships or hookups or anything. It's because I learned something from all of them. You know, I try my best.
That's how to do it, I guess. Yeah.
You know, and with a hookup, you like with just like a really simple like one night stand kind of hookup thing. Like you don't learn anything about yourself except for the fact that I am a person driven by primal instincts. Cool. Like honestly, I don't know.
Well, okay.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Although I still think you can learn something from even hookups. I mean, I'm not saying like go for hookups. I think something more substantial is better. But then again, if you're able to hook up with someone, then well, that's sort of a good thing. Whereas like you're learning how to, I guess, interact with people in a sense where they are willing to do intimate things with you. Yeah. Where definitely that's like +1 to speechcraft. It's like Yeah, I went there. Maybe this is why I don't. But anyways, it's like, so like I don't think like it's like a bad thing to hook up with people. In fact, well, there's a few hookups I wish I did differently, and
Yeah.
for me, like I guess let's start like what does it mean to like have a relationship? Like whereas you said like is to learn something, I agree with that. I think it's a good time to like really learn like how you for me is like how you interact with people, and like how best do you work with people and what do you want from people. That's what I take from like that learning aspect. For me is like my purpose for wanting a relationship is like I want like that partner who is willing to like share with me like intimate details, and like you help carry my burden, I help carry your burden. It's more so, it's more than just like that sort of learning experience. It's more like, I want someone who's going to be there, to help me get through things. I can't really tell things to my best friends because, seriously, all my best friends are dudes. It's just the way it is. And then,
That's good.
And then, things maybe I can't tell my family. Like, for example, like I love my family, but like, unfortunately, I'm not as close to my family, except for my brother. Like, my brother knows a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell like my mom, my brother. I know my mom, my sister, and my dad a lot of things.
I mean, with your sister, it's understandable because there's such a
young.
huge
Mm-hmm.
age gap.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, parents, like different cultures. So
No, like I totally get it. It's.
Or maybe they might be the cause of this problem. They don't listen to this, I hope.
but I get it because it's like with me, I can't really tell my parents too many details of my relationships. The only relationship that I was like, oh, I'm dating this girl and she happens to be white. Like, the only time that's happened was like that like first relationship that I outlined. I think that if it's like
that.
and that was tough too. That was like really tough too, and it sucks sometimes. Because your parents, like at least especially with my parents, like they have their ideas on what relationships should be.
Almost definitely. Like I remember telling my mom a while ago, and like her boyfriend was there too, and then like I told him like, yeah, I'm talking to girls, I'm supposed to go on a date, and they got like apprehensive. It was like, whoa. Like you can't be talking to multiple girls at the same time, or don't do anything dangerous or nothing. Like you shouldn't be seeing like so many girls at the same time, or like they got apprehensive about that, and it's like different cultures, whereas you really wouldn't do that, or whatever, And it's just like, okay, sorry.
See, like I guess with me, like my parents. Here's the thing, like my parents, my whole life, basically. Especially like from high school onwards, I've been like, no girls, study. No girls, study. No girls, study. No girls, study. Now I'm like graduate. They're like, why don't you have a girlfriend?
Oh, right. My mom started to ask me the same things. Like, are you getting older?
Hey, why don't you have a girlfriend? Why don't you have a wife yet? Hey, you know how old I was when I got married? Your age! I'm like, well, you had an arranged marriage. Like, I got to do the work on myself. Well, I can arrange something. No! Like that's the biggest thing, at least. That's why, for me, it's really hard for me, getting really personal, but it's really hard for me to connect with my parents in terms of relationships and some of the things that I do. Because it's such a vastly different
culture.
Spectre, like so vastly different. I know that I have the option. Basically, like I just say the word and I could get married in like a week.
Yeah,
I know I have that option.
Yeah, but that's not what you want.
It's not what I want. It's not.
You want it was like you want a partner, I guess.
I want someone. Yeah, and when I was in India, I had a really interesting discussion with my first cousin. Well, one of my first cousins. It was my first time meeting that first cousin. And he was actually there to get an arranged marriage.
Dang.
And so it was really weird because, we had these similarities. Like, we were both pretty into film and stuff. But he was getting the arranged marriage, and I was going for, as Indian people call it, the love marriage, where you do it on your own. And I talked to him about the reasons, like, why he was going through with this. And he was like, well, I see love marriages all the time just fall apart. They'll say that they're in love, and then like a year later they'll get divorced. And I think the biggest thing about that is because when you're with someone for so long in love with someone, you learn everything about them, and then you have nothing. And then whenever problems happen, you can't just be like, oh, they'll change, because you've seen them for so long that you know exactly how they react to things, how they wouldn't react to things, what they're capable of, and whatnot.
But that then again, like for me, sorry, like to interrupt.
Oh no, like that's his logic.
Mm-hmm.
That's his logic behind it, and I can see his points. Like, what were you saying?
Oh, like for me, it's like that's not really truly being in love. Then
yeah,
it's like because definitely like everyone has flaws,
Mm-hmm.
but like you're really truly in love with someone, like you're gonna find a way to get past those problems. You're gonna, and like can you really say it was really truly love if like after like a year, like you're just now starting a divorce or something like that,
Yeah, and for me, like I could see the logic behind some of his points for sure, because he mentioned that when you have an arranged marriage, it's with someone who you don't really know, so you spend your life learning how to love someone, which is kind of like it was a different way of thinking about arranged marriages, and it kind of made the idea a little bit more beautiful to me, I guess. But it's definitely not something that I want to pursue. My God, no.
Just I guess you wouldn't judge people who do it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge. My parents, for example, they had an arranged marriage, but in terms of successful relationships, I always look at my parents. I always do. They have one of the best relationships of any married couple that I've seen. And I think the reason behind that, honestly, when I think about it really, especially now, is because they're bros. Like, they're bros, you know what I mean? Like, they get along so well. Like, they, I have this, whenever I think about my parents' relationship, if I had to say one thing that really captures it, one moment that I always look to, and the one moment that I look at and I'm like, I want that, exactly that with my wife. It was, they were like at like an engagement party or something, right? And so what happened was they were playing the couples game, where it's your partners ask questions about themselves, and then like the other person has to like answer it or whatever. It was with the couple that was engaged. It was with another young couple, and then it was with two older couples. My parents won that shit, and they straight up high-fived afterwards, like in front of everybody. Like, it was just like such a dope moment. Like, I saw that, I was like, this is great. This is great. Like, because they just get along so well, and they both have so much love for each other, but they're like, it's like a weird, different kind of love where it's like you love someone, but they're also like your partner and your bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just awesome. Like,
when you say bros, I keep thinking like a woman with like a beard. Like, it's
no,
just like,
lady bros.
I know.
It's
just
I mean?
like they're just bros.
Yeah.
Just imagine like an old Indian woman with like a beard. And it's like
my mom does not have a beard. You did.
I know. I wasn't say. It's just like, okay, beards.
Yeah.
That's what happens when I think bros. But anyways, no, I get it. That's what I want. I want. Like, and I guess that's a good entry into like another portion. Like, how do you like get into like, I guess a sort of serious versus casual relationship? And it's like out of a serious relationship, I do want a good friend, like who is willing to, like who I want to hang out with, I want to get to know more of and see what they're thinking, and they want to do the same thing for me too. What was I about to say? Shoot. Yeah. I mean, like the reason like why I was in like a 2.5 year lustful thing, I guess, I don't know, is like where like I would chase, not even like, it was a weird thing. Like, I'll just give you guys a short of it. Like, it's like, we sort of became friends, and then, she got a boyfriend, and then, it's been a weird sort of up and down thing with her. And the reason, like, I guess why I chased that for so long is because we were such good friends in a sense, like not even like good friends, like we didn't hang out that much, but every time we did hang out, it was
good.
It was a
really great time.
It was great times.
Totally
like every time we hung out, and like it's like, like I would think like, okay, that was just that time or whatever. No, it was every freaking time we hung out. Every time we talked or texted, I wanted more, and that's why I didn't want to make it something. But then like it was a whole weird situation, and unfortunately that clouded my mind, where I was, I guess, also not wanting to be friends with other people in a sense where it's like there were people who were going to come my way who were interested in what I was doing, but I was just like, meh.
Because you're focused on something that was unattainable.
Exactly. And that's definitely something, don't do, is like I was thinking like movie relationship, like, oh, if it's true, then it'll happen, right? No, this didn't happen.
500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up 500 Days of Summer. It's like you had this idea fixated, and you think that if you chase after it hard enough, it'll happen. But it's like sometimes you just have to take a step back and realize, okay, this maybe isn't for me. It's definitely not for her.
Yeah.
So maybe it shouldn't be for me either. And
yeah,
then
exactly.
Once you do that, you can open up new parts of yourself, I suppose, and be open to a lot more.
Exactly. And that's what I guess I'm looking for now. I'm looking for someone, like, I want someone who is cool with me, because honestly, I'm a total dork and total nerd and geek,
Dude.
It's like, me and you, right? Like, where I don't fit that sort of stereotype of, black guy or Nigerian or whatever, like I don't fit like a standard where it's like, okay, I mean, of course I like hip hop, I like dancing, but like I'm very different, and like if you're looking for something, like without trying to see me, that's something that I guess wouldn't work. And I guess I'm still trying to figure out like what is it that I want, so definitely like that's that with that.
I think with me, like right now in my life, it's really interesting, I guess, because I love myself. Like I said, like I had a really hard time, like I hated myself back then, and it's crazy thinking that years later that I would be where I am today.
Exactly. Same thing for me too, where it's like, this is something we're gonna have to do an episode like this.
Definitely do an episode on like our
where
past,
it's like, before college, I didn't really like myself, and like I really, I thought people didn't like me, and I felt really lonely. Like everyone, family too. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Like I get it. Like I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like I totally get it, dude. Like I, it's crazy because back then I hated myself, and now like I love who I am. I love who I am. Not like thinking I'm perfect.
Yeah.
God bestowed me on this earth for all the women to appreciate. Not like that. Not like that. Like don't get me wrong. Like I love myself enough to know you're great, dude, but you could be better.
Yeah, right.
That's the way I see myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But for me with relationships, like because and this kind of ties back into like a bunch of different topics that we have to talk about. With relationships, what I'm looking for is someone who I can really get along with.
Yeah.
Like really, really, like chemistry, like really good chemistry. That's something that I miss a lot because it's been like so long since I've had what I consider like perfect chemistry with someone, where it's like you just sync up so well and you've just barely talked, like you talk in real life and it's just like the hours go by and then you continue that like over text and it's just days, like that kind of chemistry is something that I really miss.
Me too.
I really miss it. I really do. I definitely need chemistry. When I was in India, actually, I thought of like a pretty long list of things, exactly what I'm looking for with my future wife. It's like 10 things. But those are for me to hold personally. For everyone that's listening, and I guess for you as well, since you're my bro and you're looking for peeps. I'm gonna give the 5 things that make me want to date someone or be in a relationship with someone. First is cute. Cute isn't just like a physical thing. I'd say like it's like 40% physical, but 60% based on the way that they act. Anna Kendrick is like my like when I think cute, I definitely think like Anna Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like she's not like, oh my God, you're incredibly insanely like 10 status attractive, you know what I mean? Like she's not like model attractive per se, but she has like this quirkiness and like this nice like uniqueness, and that's very, very pleasant. Like I really love cute is very good. 2 is creative. I love creative people. I'm not saying that you have to be painting the Sistine Chapel like every night. I'm not saying that, but I like people who have hobbies and things that are different, a little bit different, like maybe you really make music. Maybe you just really enjoy listening to particular types of music. Maybe you dance. I don't know. But little creative things, like that just makes me really happy. I do really well in creative environments. Even though I'm not a super duper creative person, like I love when people are creative.
Mm-hmm.
Clever. Clever doesn't necessarily mean smart. Smart is important to, don't get me wrong, and clever isn't like, oh, I went to Oxford and I have a lovely degree, and like I don't give a shit about that. All right.
Okay.
Clever for me is not just being like smart in terms of you're educated, but it's also being witty, being able to think on your feet, being able to think quickly, being able to think critically. Like I enjoy those kinds of conversations. I cannot count the number of times I've gone to a party and talked to a girl and felt like I was dumbing myself down every time like I uttered a sentence, like every time, you know what I mean? And that's not like a put down necessarily to like women in general. Definitely not. Like I've met some incredible women who make me feel so fucking stupid. But I feel like cleverness is like a value that doesn't come around often enough, at least for me.
It's pretty rare, yeah.
Confident. Confidence is very important, and I learned this from a really bad date that I had, where like we had really good like textual chemistry. Like our texts were incredibly detailed, and they'd be about everything. And this was like one of those days gone by, and it's just like you're texting that person back and forth, and then like when we had our date, like she wouldn't even make eye contact with me.
Ooh, senpai noticed me.
Like like confidence is very important to me. I'm not saying like you have to like walk around with like the biggest ego. Definitely had like a
Got
thing
a huge
with
ego.
yeah, I definitely had a thing with like a narcissist, which I guess is like maybe too much. But someone who is very confident and is like, I like things about myself. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the last thing is cultured. Culture doesn't mean, oh yes, I think the Bordeaux goes perfect with this. Like I don't give any craps about that. Cultured for me is like someone with good taste in things, good taste in music and movies and TV. Maybe she likes to go to the symphony every now and then. Maybe she likes going to art museums. Like that's awesome. Like I love that. So yeah, those are what I call the 5 C's. It's kind of lame, I guess. But
so, ladies, if you got that, hit up.
If you got that, please send your resume.
This whole podcast was really
this whole
PSA.
podcast was it's like, see, I can't really have my
ad.
parents.
Yeah, right. All right, no, but that's really cool. I mean, I feel I should get some alliteration and stuff into.
And like I said, like a lot of the things that comprise that list, and a lot of things that make up that big list that I have. In terms of like traits that my wife would ideally have, come from things that I've learned in relationships and dates that I've gone on. Which is why it's important, in my opinion, to like keep things open sometimes. Like if you're single, don't view that as such a bad thing. Like view that as an opportunity to date yourself a little bit for starts, but then also as an opportunity to like have little things. You know what I mean? Like. Go and ask someone out on a date and go take them to dinner. And you'll be surprised how much you'll learn about yourself in just like a dinner.
Need some money though. Shoot.
Well, then go. You could do like little things, like go to the park.
It's cold outside though.
You're making so many excuses. All right,
it's cold outside.
Oh,
look, I'm wearing 5 layers right now.
Well, even better. I think everyone looks really cute in winter attire.
I don't. Well, I mean, like
girls look super cute in winter attire.
I don't know,
dude. Like I take everyone's all bundled up with little hats and things. I love it. Scarves.
I guess because I don't see anything. But anyways, no, I'm not talking like. Well, I mean, I am talking about that too. But it's like everyone sort of looks the same because everything is black or gray or green or something like that. It's just sort of everything's blends together. I guess so. Anyways, everyone's also wearing those UGG boots too.
Duck facing and UGG boots. I'm not about that life.
So girls don't do that. Yeah. Okay, so but I don't really have like a detailed list like Justin does. Maybe like some episode later I'll have to like share my thing. So all the ladies that are interested, let's see if you got these things, and you're cute, yeah, right. But definitely like I go like I agree with like what he said. Like I am looking for like someone who does have a lot of traits too that that is like intelligent, that is cultured, that is good looking. Honestly, good looking is I'm shallow, I guess, but I want someone good looking because I think I'm sort of good looking.
You are a good looking dude, man.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You're a really good looking dude.
I think you're good.
I honestly I don't get it because like you're way better looking than me, but you have like crazy like problems with ladies. I don't really get it.
I don't get it.
I don't
either.
get it, dude. Okay.
Well, I appreciate that.
Maybe like I can at least tell you like what works for me. What I've noticed, and this is just pro tips for like anyone out there, regardless of like who you're into, what you're into, like your sex, gender, everything. People are attracted to confidence. Above all else, people are attracted to confidence. There's no way, like right now I'm like in a really weird state where it's like I feel like a lot of girls like me right now. Like a lot of people are definitely like interested in me right now, which is awesome. Which is awesome. You know, like it feels good, and that helps, you know, kind of feed that fire a little bit more. It makes me a little bit even more confident, which in turn makes so that more people like me, etc. People are attracted to confidence, and the source of confidence above all else is loving yourself. When I think back to how I am now and how I am like back in the day when I was just awful with girls, and the biggest thing was my image of myself. When I didn't love myself, it was really bad, you know, like overall, like for starters, I was fucking miserable. But looking back on that, I have clarity in the sense that you can't expect other people to love you if you don't love yourself. That's the biggest thing that I can say.
That's a good point.
Don't worry about like people will give all sorts of bullshit. Like there's so many things that are like in our society right now that's so stupid. Like, oh well, if you go on a date with someone you like them, well, you don't text them for 3 days. Like fuck that. Like if I meet someone and I like you, like I'm gonna text you. Like deal with it. And if you're like, oh, he texted me before 3 days, then I'm not gonna talk to him again. Then I don't care because you're someone who follows such stupid rules. Such stupid rules. If I like someone, I'm not gonna follow any rules or bullshit or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I don't care about that. You know, like you only have like 30 days to get with someone who you just met. Otherwise, you're in the friend zone. Like the friend zone, that's bullshit. Like that flirtationship I was telling you about, that was with a girl who I was crazy good friends with, to the point where we called each other bro. Like that level. Anyone else would look at that and be like, oh my God, he's like stuck in the friend zone. But it's not, it doesn't exist. All right. That's not the way people work. But I digress. Other bullshit thing, leagues. Don't ever think that some girl is out of your league. Fellas out there. And ladies, like same thing. Like leagues are bullshit. Seriously, they are bullshit. I hate the fact that people sometimes pigeonhole themselves to thinking like, oh, I can't talk to that person. They're so out of my league. Oh, I'm at a bar, but that girl is like really, really beautiful, but she would just reject me so fast and she just laughed at me because it's like, I'm out of her league. Like, what? That is so dumb. That is so incredibly stupid. Like I said, the thing that people are attracted to above all else is confidence. Confidence. And the root of that is being able to look at yourself and being okay with yourself, you know, and then slowly making it so that you're more than okay with yourself, that you can love yourself. And it's a lot easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's so much easier said than done. But above all else, like the first step is to love yourself. And then don't worry about any of the stupid things that people say. Don't worry about friend zone or about, you know, people being out of your league or anything like that. Just be confident in yourself. Go take that next step. Easy.
Cool.
I'm so sorry. That was quite the rant. But people are stupid, and it makes me so bad. Do you have any advice to lonely hearts out there?
One, surround yourself with good people. Yeah, you know, definitely like I've been ranting to Justin like, oh, this girl didn't know, or this girl, or how do I talk to this girl? Luckily, like I've had like a good support system that has been able to, you know, tolerate my complaining of all these girls. Like that's like my main complaint all the time. Like every time I meet him, it's just like, yo, man, here's this girl, man. and also, I guess like one other stupid thing is like every time I talk about a girl, I jinx it. So it's just like whatever. But yeah, one, get a good support system, because they're gonna tolerate your whining, give you good advice, and then two, be busy. You know, do something, go places, do things. You know, if you're just pining for girls, you know, in a sense, you're pining for girls, and you're not doing anything. You know, like in fact, like you're not, you know, getting yourself out into more situations, more rooms, more whatever, where you are able to meet more people. more clubs. Maybe you like anime or video games. There's conventions or clubs or whatever. That you can meet people who can meet you to the right person. So it's just like be busy, do things. Where you are able to talk to people, and then and definitely that'll get your mind off of lusting after people so much. Like definitely that's. Thank God. Maybe that's why I'm also so busy, because it's just like I'm just trying to stay busy or something like that. I don't know. I like doing things, but and then 3, it's like learn, constantly keep learning. Like how do you talk to people? How do you because that's it's not like a natural skill for everyone. I didn't know how to talk to people. Apparently Justin didn't know. Like it's sort of shocking to hear. It's like, I didn't talk to people. What? Like this guy that I know today.
I mean, I told you freshman year was bad.
That's funny. That's crazy. But like it's shocking. But he learned. I learned. And it's just like we learn from maybe books, maybe you learn from people. Most likely learn from people. You learn from experience. So, keep putting yourself out there. And I guess I'm going to give 5 things. 4, do it. There's no way to get confidence. Yeah.
4, if you're alone, do it.
Yeah, do it, right? Like, it's pretty much like keep asking people out, keep trying to go on dates, keep trying to do these things, because it will suck and it will continue to suck if you don't do it. It's like, for me, it's like, the metaphor I had was like this is back like when I was playing Skyrim back in the day. It was like you want to go fight dragons, all right? Girls are dragons, all right? All right.
So and, fighting girls. You got this Chris Brown motif.
There we go. Right. That's me. No, and then and you haven't seen a dragon, all right? But like you keep reading about like how to beat dragons, right? But like who's going to be able to kill a dragon? The guy who reads about the dragons, or the dragon slayer who kills dragons? The dragon slayer. Because the dragon slayer maybe has got his butt kicked quite a few times, maybe had to run away from battles, but he has got to the point where he knows how to deal with dragons. Not the guy who reads about dragons. Not the guy who gets those experience points. It doesn't matter how many. Doesn't matter like how many skill books you read. All right, this is a super nerdy example, but y'all already knew what time it was, right? The guy like who reads the lore about dragons won't be able to kill dragons. You might get lucky and kill a dragon, but for the most part, it's the dragon slayer who's like, dragons fly, like so I brought my bow and arrow, boom, all right, that was a really geeky example. All I'm trying to say is go do it, and the more you do it, the less scared you'll be, the more confidence you'll get. Like the feel just in the saying, get confidence. How do you get confidence? You do it.
Yeah, and going and doing it isn't just like go pick up as many chicks as you can in like a week. Mm-hmm. Like it's nothing like that.
Have that intent, really.
Little steps, like for some people it's difficult to even talk to like women. Mm-hmm. But go strike up a conversation. Challenge yourself. I'm going to go and issue a challenge to everyone who is listening.
All the lonely people, that is.
All the lonely hearts that are listening. I want you to go out this week, and I want you to go and if you see someone who you find attractive, go have a conversation with them. No matter what. Just go have a conversation with them.
I started doing this myself, actually.
Yeah. Exceptions being like obviously like if they're in a relationship or something, like don't mess with that. If you see like they're like a wedding ring on there, probably not your best idea. Mm-hmm. But if you see someone who you're attracted to, don't worry about are they gonna reject me? Like they might laugh in my face, because I'll tell you this much: people generally aren't that terrible. Mm-hmm. Like
in fact, you go even talk to the married people. I mean, like what's worst that can happen? I mean, your intention should be to like I'm gonna go bang that married person. It should be just have a conversation.
Just start up by striking up strike up a conversation. Mm-hmm. Like I know that's difficult for a lot of people, but that's the first thing you can do. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where. It could be like at the bar. It could be at half price books.
Yeah. In fact, like I do want to give like a sort of experience of mine where it was like I had started trying to do that this last semester. And I did it with 2 really cute girls. It's like, whoa, I never seen these girls before. I'm gonna go talk to them. And like I was about to talk myself out of it, but I just did it, and then it worked out. I started by saying, hey, I think you're really cute. Unfortunately, both times I screwed up with my ending because, the first time I had to take a dump really bad, and then and I just couldn't close those. I was like, I hope to see you later, bye. And then like I left, and also I was so nervous. Like it was a mixture of everything in my stomach, just like.
But it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No, it was great because she actually was like, "Hey, what's your name?" You know, it's like I was like, "Hey, I think you're really cute," and I was expecting just to be like, "Bye," you know, but like she was like, "Hey, what's your name? Hey, what's your major?" You know, all of that. You know, she was like 26 or something like that. Yeah.
Dude, older girls, man.
Yes,
They're great.
I'm all about the little girls. And then like the second chick I talked to, well, she's a freshman chick. I didn't. Well, I was feeling sort of bad for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah, because I argued with my brother. Yeah, and that just sort of put me in a sort of negative mindset. But it worked out still. I told her she looked really cute, and we had a good conversation where I found out she likes poetry. And you know, like what's the worst that can happen is, well, I mean, I guess bad things can happen, but you know, like I don't want to be like, what's the worst gonna happen? And you know, you come back like, well, God's will and justice. So, you know.
Generally speaking, things will be okay. I promise.
Exactly.
I promise.
So,
yeah.
And then I guess like, what's my last thing to say? Be friends with people. You know, like start friendships with people. Like what you were saying. You know, like where you know your mom and dad are bros. You know, seriously, the best relationships come from those type of friendships, you know, and the best thing you can do is just try to start friendships with people, you know, like, and not really expect anything more, you know, like if you are like, you know, like see where it goes. Oh, and I guess like 5A is always be honest with your feelings, you know, like don't, you know, try to disguise friendship as like, okay, that's how I want to get in, you know, and it has to be like genuine friendship. If you like someone, be straight up about that, you know.
Yeah,
you never know what might happen, you know. Like, you know, maybe the person still wants to be friends. Maybe the person wants more.
I like on that bit. Like, I had this really huge crush on this girl, right? And it was like right off the bat when I met her, like I was just like, wow, this is great. We have good chemistry. Like this is fantastic. And it just felt good. But unfortunately, she had feelings for another person. And I was kind of hinting at stuff, and she ends up figuring out that basically that I have a crush on her, right? She calls me out on it too. And so, you know, like I fess up, and I'm expecting that this would be like the end of like a friendship, and I got kind of sad. But honestly, that's like one of the most interesting friendships that I have. Like me and her are still like friends, and we talk, you know, a lot, and our friendships are really interesting, and they're very unique. It's a dynamic with her that I share with no one else, because it's like I can say things like, oh, you know, well, I found you attractive because of these reasons. You know, back when, you know, like I had a crush on you, it was because of this, and this. Like, you know, like we can talk about things like that, and it's not weird. Like nothing's weird. Like it's just like sometimes, like I know people will be like, oh, I want to say my feelings, but I'm scared it would like ruin our friendship. Like, no,
you're ruining your friendship now by, you know, hiding yourself.
Yeah, honestly, like if they're actually your friend, and this is something that's been proven not just with that girl, but with girls like in the past as well. If they're honestly your friend, they'd want you to tell them something like that for one reason or another. And then if something works out, awesome. And if it doesn't, then you can move past that together. Like they're your friend for a reason. They'll help you get through this.
Hopefully. I mean, like I do want to say, like on the other side of things, where it's like you really still have to be honest to your feelings. Like if you are like lusting after a person who is with someone else, honestly. Best to remove yourself from that situation. You know? Like,
that's what I'd suggest in that situation.
Exactly. I mean, like, and I say this from experience. Story time later on, but you know, it's just like it's best to remove yourself from that situation, whereas you don't get hurt. You know, like or because like don't forget it's all about you, but then also it is about the other person. Love is a two-way street. Relationships are two-way streets. Friendships are two-way streets. You know, you can't be putting in. You can't do the wrong thing. Don't do the wrong thing. So do the right thing. I guess
your tips?
Yeah, those are my tips. And like, you know, this is, I guess, what I've learned from like my mishaps and whatever. Exactly.
Experiences.
Yeah, experiences. They are good things, but you know. Yeah.
I guess my tips, Godzilla covered a lot of my tips with his stuff. The biggest thing is kind of touching on something Godzilla said. If you're single on Valentine's Day, don't make a big deal of it. It's honestly it's just a day. I know we have a special for it, you know, but that's because for me, like I consider that a day to celebrate love. Even if you're not with someone, you can still look at it as a day to kind of like appreciate what hasn't come to you yet, but what might be in store.
That's deep.
You know, that's the way I think of it. You know, a lot of people are like, fuck Valentine's Day, single, forever alone, you know, like, that's just bad energy, you know, like, like honestly, like I've never been with someone on Valentine's Day, like in a romantic sense. I've never. No, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm okay with it. Like for me, like if you're in a relationship, like seriously, people who are in relationships, like you should not just be treating someone really nicely on Valentine's Day. You should be treating them right every single day of that relationship, every moment. You know, I know a lot of, especially like with dudes, a lot of them are just like, will just be really crappy to their girlfriends and then be like really good and extravagant Valentine's Days and then go back to being really crappy to them again. Like that's just bad. So the first thing for all you lonely hearts, don't make a big deal of it. Second, date yourself. Seriously, date yourself. Yeah. Take some time to date yourself. I think that I speak for me and God's will for all you female lonely hearts out there. I will offer my Valentine's Day services. If you just need someone to make like an impression with, if you're just like by yourself and you're feeling really crummy and down and you know me, like hit me up. We'll play video games and hugs are free. And if I really like you, we might cuddle.
I'll do more. I mean, wait.
But seriously, like all joking aside, there's like, you'd be surprised like how many people there are out there for you. If not in like a romantic sense, then at least in like in a camaraderie type of sense. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of people that'll be out there to look out for you. Don't ever feel alone. And if you do feel alone, hit someone up that you trust. It could be family, it could be friends. If you know me, then hit me up. Like honestly, like right now, like I don't plan on asking anyone out for Valentine's Day. So if you're like really feeling down in the dumps, I will make you feel awesome. People love hanging out with me. Seriously, I'm great. Look at that self-confidence. It's too much self-confidence at this point. I'm so sorry. But don't take this day or being alone on this day for something more than it is. It's just a day. Yeah. Honestly.
Kanye West over here. Okay. Right.
Just say you will. Right. For all you folks who are listening that are in relationships, treat your person right every day. Yeah, not just that day, not just Valentine's Day, every single day. Yeah, there you go. If you don't, then I don't like you as a person. Karma. Yeah, there you go. Karma. Yeah, exactly. It will be bad. Exactly. Yeah. And also, if you're in a relationship and you're on the receiving end of that, I suppose if this person only treats you well on today, then that's not good. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Like, make sure that you treat people that you're in a relationship with right every single day, and make sure that you are treated right every single day.
Yo, girl, I'll treat you right. your man don't treat you right every day. Don't worry, I will do things.
As soon as you just creep up from behind and ask them what their interests are.
What's your interest, baby?
Who they be with?
Who you be with? Okay.
Things that make her smile. Yeah. What numbers to dial?
Boom! I need to have you on an earpiece. Just tell me what to say. Justin, what I say now? Damn it!
I love it when you call me Big Papa. It's like,
what? I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Throw your hands in the air if you're a true player. She's like,
are you listening to
Biggie Smalls right now?
You just put Biggie Smalls on.
I can see another image now of you walking into a bar and be like, to all the ladies in the place with style and grace.
Yes. No, I will do this.
Oh, man. Guys, thank you so much for this. This has been a weird, disjointed kind of episode. I know it's a little unorthodox, but thank you so much for putting up with us for this long. And seriously, we love you guys. I think it's a good time to say that, considering that it's Valentine's Day.
Okay, I love y'all. Okay.
All right. With that in mind, we're going to wrap things up. As always, please hit us up with any thoughts that you have. We'd love to think of your takes on relationships, what love means to you. I know love is a word that's thrown around a lot these days. What does that mean to you? Some of the thoughts that you've had on some of the films that we've discussed, some of the music that we've discussed, etc. We'd love to hear all of your thoughts.
Yeah. What are you looking for? Yeah. What do you think about relationships? What do you think about what's your background if you're really interested, in sharing that, whatever, we're open ears and we are interested in talking with y'all. So, definitely if you're interested.
Best way to contact us would be via our Facebook page, facebook.com/That's Dope Podcast. If you prefer a little bit of anonymity, we have recently established, I can't believe it, a subreddit.
What?
I don't even know.
use Reddit.
I don't even know. But it's r/That's Dope podcast if you'd like some anonymity or whatever. If you're just looking for advice, like I will do my best to steer you in the right path, regardless of what you're into, etc. If you have things to share with us, little things, Twitter is really great. Twitter.com/That's Dope podcast. And That's Dope podcast.tumblr.com for all you Tumblr folks.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I guess that's a good time to wrap up our conclusion.
You said that.
Wrap up our conclusion. Dang it! Wrap up our conclusion.
Time to conclude things.
Time to conclude. Let's finish this. All right.
All right. It's like so.
Stay dope, folks,
Peace.
and happy Valentine's.